Hey Insiders, we've got a very special guest joining us here today who's just recently graduated from our flagship course LMA, Life Mastery Achievers. And she's going to be coming on here today to share how she honestly felt the whole experience went for her and everything else in between. So, just starting off very quickly, Angela, if you could just tell us your name, where you're from, and what it is that you currently do.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Angela. I live in Norfolk in East England, and I'm a retired nurse. I retired last Christmas. So,
Thank you for sharing. And Angela, if you wouldn't mind just like telling everyone that's listening, what would you say was your biggest challenge or struggle that you were facing prior to joining LMA?
well, I think I'd felt really that I'd arrived at a place where I was in overload and overwhelm, and
Mm.
that had been coming on for probably the past 20 years.
Wow.
I felt exhausted by life. I really had no energy to give out.
Mm.
And I think from a little girl, I'd always wanted to do nursing. So I think that was my path in life, I felt.
Mm.
But I realized that I was giving too much of my energy away, disempowering myself,
Mm.
and also becoming a bit of a sponge for other people's negative energy. And it was also starting to affect me physically. I'd been waking up in what I can only describe as sort of a terror state.
Mm.
Um, and it wasn't that I woke up and had negative thoughts, it was that I was actually waking up with that. And it was manifesting also in the fact that I felt I had almost been punched in my solar plexus. And I realized then that things were getting really pretty serious. I couldn't ignore them any longer. So, yeah.
And how did that make you feel, Angela, knowing that that was happening to your body, your mind, physical body? How did you feel
It
knowing
was
that?
it was very frightening actually, and also I think I've always been the person that, because of my career, that has been there for other people, and um, I was finding it very difficult to talk to people about it. I didn't want to let the my facade down of everything being fine. I'm here for everybody else, and so I was finding it more and more challenging, and I was starting, I feel, to withdraw a little bit, because I didn't want to be around people in a state that I wasn't feeling I was giving
Mhm.
in, and so I was kind of withdrawing a little bit, and wanting to be in my safe home where I wasn't going to be challenged really, because I didn't have the skills or the energy to face those challenges really.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. And I guess following on from that, what shifted and how did LMA come into your life then? How did that evolve?
Well, it was a synchronistic moment, really. I was on YouTube, and I saw in the sort of bar on the right Tim's lovely face, and thought, ah, he looks interesting. He was very open and very sincere,
Mm.
and so I clicked on that and looked at the course, and just felt instantly that he was the key to unlock the life that I'd really kind of closed down for myself.
Wow.
So it was very special moment for me actually.
Wow. And from that, whenever you were on that YouTube and you came across Tim and obviously the course, um, had you any limiting beliefs or had you any doubts or fears in that moment about signing up? And if so, how did you put them to one side and commit and move forward with LMA?
I I did. I felt that I'd given myself so many excuses in the past of, oh, I'm sort of fine, or I can sort myself out, and that was really just not being brave enough to face who I'd become. And it was just easier, I felt in my head, to bumble along with life and not challenge oneself. But my instinct was saying, no, you can't do this to yourself anymore.
Wow.
And so really, it wasn't too difficult a decision.
Wow.
Um, I initially did the LMA course in February, but I couldn't easily complete 5 and 6, so I've done it again.
Wow.
In February, the money was an issue with me,
Mm.
but I just felt that it was a now or never really
Mm.
decision, and I opted for now, thankfully.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And what would you say surprised you the most, or what were you most happiest with undertaking the LMA program?
Well, I think I was completely bowled over by the sheer thought that had gone into the whole way the course was presented and its content. It's so professionally done. I've been on a lot of courses during my nursing career,
Mm.
which have been impressive, but not to the same standard that Tim and all you guys have produced. And I think also it was his absolute passion. He's not just doing a job that he loves. It's his cause in life, and I think his sincerity coupled with his humility in sharing um, past episodes in his life, which have been good and maybe not so good, made me feel that I could really trust him. I never had any doubt about that, but that I could trust the whole process. And I felt with the loving, nurturing way it was also put across,
Mm.
that I was with people who really understood me. And I think it's a feeling that I've got that I don't think I've ever had from anybody else. I was lucky. I had a happy childhood and have had some lovely supportive friends and partners, but I never felt that, blimey, he really understands me. And that's really what I got from Tim. It was quite exceptional. And, without even knowing any of us, that feeling came across. So
Wow. And how would you say, Angela, now your life has changed? In what way has your life changed since taking the LMA course? What's different for you now and your perception on life or how you show up?
well, I'm feeling now much calmer.
Mm.
Um, my stomach pain has gone. I don't wake up feeling the same way that I did, and I realize now that I'm interested in myself, and I say that meaning that I'm actually analyzing my feelings. It's given me a solid foundation, and it's also provided me with skills and tools and insights to understand myself better and also understand others better too.
Beautiful. And regarding the community aspect and everybody coming together and being connected with individuals from all over the world, how did you find that part of it with being able to interact and meet different people along this journey?
Well, I've found that really helpful, and I think sharing is vital, and one can talk about one's little wobbles in a safe environment and
Mm.
hear how other people are coping with it, or know that you're not alone, that other people are having those same moments. So I think it's been incredibly helpful.
Wow. And coming to close to the end here as well, how would you summarize Tim as a teacher or a facilitator?
Out of this world. I mean, it's so difficult to find words to describe it, but his dedication and his commitment to us, and that's really what has staggered me throughout this whole thing, that somebody that I've never met
Mm.
actually believes in me
Yeah.
in a way that I've never believed in myself. And so I've always felt from that if he can believe me when he doesn't know me, I have to believe in myself. So he has been absolutely incredible. I've never known anybody like it.
Wow. And how does the future look for Angela now after learning what you've learned or going through what you've experienced? What does the future look like for you now?
It looks so much more hopeful. I feel I'm starting to get the person back that I was, but a better version of that.
Mm.
And I've actually gone on to apply for the WCA retreat on the back of that, and
Wow.
that's very symbolic to me that I'm doing that, because again, money is not an easy issue for me, but it was a sign of my dedication and commitment to the LMA course, that
Wow.
I wanted to take it a step further. The course itself is sufficient unto itself, but
Mm.
it's, if you want to invest further, then you can do so. And there's so many opportunities for that.
Beautiful. And Angela, just a final question to like wrap it up here. What advice would you give to somebody who's interested in going through LMA or who's curious and they want to find out more, but maybe they're sitting on the fence and they haven't made a decision? What would you say to those people after going through and having this experience? What advice would you put onto them?
I would say just take a deep breath and do it. A thing that had been going through my mind a lot was envisaging myself at the end of my life and looking back on it, and being so grateful for all the gifts that people had given me, the friends, and all the wonderful things that the world had offered me, but feeling that the one thing that had let me down wasn't any of that. It was actually me. And I felt so sad about that. So I would say to anybody, really step up. You are worth it, and you need to give yourself the opportunity. And as I've said, with the skills and tools and insights that Tim offers you, it's the safest and the most effective way to get to where you want to be.